I'm not for torture. I'll tell you why. Because in order to be for torture, you have to hire psychopaths. You need to be a psychopathic mind to be pro-torture because you got to hire psychopaths. And you're galvanizing structural violence and savage barbarism in government institutions paid for the people. Structural violence encouraged by a position being pro-torture in order to influence an individual to confess information on a sensitive security matter. You have to be a psychopath because you got to hire psychos who torture human beings to get information. So you have to be a psychotic, evil individual in order to even entertain a pro position, regardless of your ideals of what it is to operate a nation in the era we are in. Another reason why I'm smart of Donald Trump is was a host of reasons. I want to go into the type of people who voted for Donald Trump, because you didn't so much as vote for Donald Trump. You voted for a return to an era that is no longer. I'm a real estate developer who pays my employees before myself, investing in the country, working hard, providing a unique stamp of design and art, nowhere to be seen. No American is doing this. No artist wants anybody to step on their fucking floor. So I'm doing this on a massive scale, trying to find workers here. I had one guy who was in Flagstaff, and I was on a project in Sedona. He wanted me to pay his cap to the interview and then told me off when I did it. So there's a real sickness here. So when I see all these white, fat, entitled Rust Belt Americans standing in front of Trump, thinking they're going to go back in a time machine to a car plant in 1977 where they clock off at lunch for an hour, shoot the shit, and then get on the site and crack jokes all day while they put a widget in. Sorry, asshole. We got a robot to do that now. We got robots to make robots to do that. So what are you going to do? Grandfather clock repairman? That's a good job. You're always going to have work. You got to think like that, okay? Plumber, pulling shit out of pipes, This whole car plant, fucking get over it, okay? The car plants are gone. Robots make the cars now. The cars are fucking robots, you idiot. We're living in the age of Transformers, and you want to have a factory job with fucking benefits and dental and lunch and supper and this many days. It's over, dude. Make your own company. Come up with your own thing. You're going to realize robots and Mexicans do a much fucking better job than a white, entitled, fat American in the Rust Belt.
I didn't know that wasn't going to happen. Now I'm a Russian agent because I suggested, instead of building a wall from across America, dividing, South American wildlife from migrating to North American habitats, killing off deer and shit because they're going to starve when they run out of food, when their seasons change. Costly. Why not build a bridge from Alaska to Russia? And that way I could ride my bike from Los Angeles to China. Heck, keep going all the way to South Africa. Basically, every landmass except Australia and New Zealand, major landmass would then be connected. It would be connected through trade. So now they're trying to say I'm a Russian agent because once that bridge is built, then they take Alaska back. Because this is all about getting Alaska back. It's a good point. I just want to ride my bike to Africa. So can we just carve this up, and you guys do the business you need to do? Because this is all about business. They're using boys, little 18-year-old boys out there of their country to shoot at their armies. It's like, you give us this business or we just go and take it. We can't do this anymore. The Genghis Khan, the Alexander the Great for getting gold and oil. We gotta start doing business here. We are to be busy. It says it in the Bible. Be busy, go forth, be fruitful, multiply, be busy. And the art of being busy is busyness. So these boys got to sit down and they carve up contracts and sell what they have to do and stop spraying the children, stop blowing the children, and stop making goofy, creepy, weird artwork, children nude, tied up and putting it on your wall and inviting everybody who's in the Washington political establishment over for a fundraiser. Suspect. A Russian agent. I'm a Russian troll agent. No, I'm out of control. I want to come in and control me, but I'm out of control because I'm the only painter to address your painting amidst all the little art darlings New York art establishment decided was the artist the public should mention in a household fail. I don't know if you noticed, but when I do abstract, I am not confined by, the finite space of a square canvas. And when you look at abstract art, you can tell the painter was conscious that was the edge. It is splatter, and therefore it becomes contrived. But if I have 2,000 square feet of a surface and I'm just moving along, really an instinct, flow, and energy, well then it becomes a pure and applied form of abstract art. Pure and applied. No, oh, I gotta calculate. I gotta do my rock and roll accident spill in the frame of 2 feet. But I'm not gonna do that as wild as abstract should. I'd rather do a big surf and then go and hunt for the composition. My square, you turn and go find it, slide a square frame across the surface, find it, and then cut it out like cool cuts, and then see what's left as a composition, as a reaction around it. But this is my work. You need to come up with your own ideas, thief, copycat, no ideas, parasite, loser, rich kid. Rich kid. See, I'd much rather be poor kid. It becomes a very, very, very powerful, influential, inspiring man. Who's rich? Rich by those qualities and rewarded by espousing to those qualities. Powerful in the sense I become fully my abilities. Inspirational, the result of not being scared to take risks, to execute something never been done that will succeed in the eyes of all watching. Influential. Well, how do I use the influence that I've garnered on both being powerful, right? Inspirational, tailored, landscape it, engineer. And these have subterfuges of emotional intent, you know, and how I paint my emotions across my communication to convey my idea. And so becoming emotionally intact, emotionally connected, and not scared of emotions is what separates us from the savage ape or the robot. They want you to believe that robots are superior. They want you to believe you're from an ape. No, you're neither. Break from that silly paradigm, which is there to control your sense of space and the extent of it through image that's painted. Globe, Earth is a painting. And even if it was a photo, how would you know, dear child? How would you ever know? You've never seen that point from space, looking at it as a ball, and then to see them lately, trying to get back on their shit, pointed out your time-lapse of Asia. And sped up in like, you're doing it 24 hours, an hour watching the sun or the earth go around the sun, like, right, with the clouds and how they move slowly. You're speeding up all that dynamic that we observe from the ground, 24 hours, and you're compressing it into 3,000%, what is it? Like 100,000% increase in speed to do it in 7 seconds. Whatever it is, you know? 7 seconds of a 24-hour day from space, seeing it spin. Those clouds would be going nuts. So I brought that up. So I'm the first ever to bring that up. But there was no photorealist, hyperrealist flat earther that came out to give that, kill it in the womb, to just shoot it in the face of itself, the surface of its own fascia, fascism, the face of things, the face of it. Of all of it is your earth picture. Oh God, help us all. That's a painting. Now I'm the first, Now I'm the first painter to bring that up. But now to see them gaslit by me just going, hey, you clowns are morphing and dissolving, this is fake, and then them admitting to it, and now admit to it, then it's like, so then all that we saw on National Geographic and Atkinson, like doing the narration, like Your Earth, National Geographic, that's all CGI. You just admitted that that's not from NASA. And they never said anything either, so they were in cahoots. Well, the National Geographic Society is a society that is a government-led, publisher. It's like, PBS. It's the National Geographic Institute. It's part of the government. So then they're brokering it out to special effects firms in Hollywood to make the globe spin. And the same thing with the ISS. And the nighttime footage that only lasts 3 seconds and then it goes black. Because I'm going to see a speed anomaly. I'm going to see something that doesn't work. So you're censoring it and you're doing a fade out and fade in every 3-5 seconds. I'm not seeing a whole thing spin. I mean, that could easily be the ISS flying over, on rocket fuel. Just flying over low orbit. Or a U-2 plane. It could be anything, with a piece of tinfoil. Or all CGI. But you cut it off at 5 seconds before I could start to see, why don't you do the whole 24 hours? Because you don't even know your own model, how it's supposed to look. I am cueing you. Like, I'm the one forcing you to course correct in small print the mechanics of what we're looking at as an image. Like whether it's a photo from a camera, one snap, and if so, then the onus is on you and you've lied. So then the next thing is basically, get that thing, get your little crazy button, your little panic button. That's going to be an extra panic button and sphere of influence. These are going to be 2 more. Panic button, okay, panic button, okay, and sphere of influence. Sphere of influence. So, sphere of influence, the sphere of influence, the sphere of influence. So now And I'm gaslighting it, so because I know that the more they have to paint these details, the human being's eyes are going to finally be exposed to this, but they were never exposed to it when they finally see the whole, like, okay, your clouds, your whole planet's spinning 24 hours at 1,000,000% increase spin, because it's 7 seconds. Those clouds got to go crazy. But the other thing, too, is when I'm on the ground, right? Those clouds are moving faster than the ground. I see them moving. They're not moving with the ground at the rate of 1,000 miles an hour. So those clouds are probably moving visually at like 1,050 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour. So the surface of the Earth has to be moving, or even more. 1,000,000, they got to be, the percentage of them spinning over something spinning has to be greater to the eye, where you see the Earth spinning and the clouds. So for a 7-second time lapse, what you should be seeing, according to them claiming the Earth is a ball, and clouds still being clouds, which are moving to my eye on the ground, which means they're moving relative to the ground faster than the ground. The ground or the Earth is spinning if you're looking back from space at the ball. Well, then now those clouds, not only do they got to be like morphing and dissolving, like condensing 24 hours of clouds, evaporating and forming and dissolving wildly, but they also have to be spinning real quickly over the Earth. And so now they're doing it. Now they're doing this animation. And it's like, I'm out. I'm even more flat because of that. And that was also part of my plan, was if they started coming out with what they have to do to sell their model, it's going to look less believable. And I'm going to make more people flat. So I am succeeding here at humiliating the mechanics of what they define as proof of science for the Earth being a ball going around the sun. I am destroying it. You know, I might have 5,000, I might have 50,000. I don't know what amount of numbers they shave off my account, because things cap, I get hidden, people get unsubscribed. I get the screen caps of them rolling back the total amount of videos every 2 months by 1 million, a chunk of 2 million, back down to 9 million from 12. Should be at 30 million right now with the amount of screen caps I have. I'll be releasing that, like, you know, the DNC emails. I'll be releasing all the times YouTube rolls back with the screen cap dated. You know, the amount of flat earth videos, the total amount of flat earth videos, because if it's bigger than Ball Earth, or bigger than Trump, or bigger than ISIS or Syria, why isn't it trending in the top 10 with ISIS, Trump, Russia, World War III, Ebola? So that's why they're rolling back. Because once it's trending in the top 10, well then, why isn't the news talking about it? Ever. So, what's gonna happen? So now I have to cheat. So now I catch them cheating. So I'm basically cornering a rat. It's a big fucking rat. But the irony of the whole thing is, that was the first thing they sent to space. A rat.
So, you know, I make your universe. Eric Dubay is some fake they made up to try and control me.
Yeah, nice.
Great Lake of Venus. Beautiful Great Lake of Venus. Huge lake. It's like the size of the Atlantic on Venus. Oh no, we're very high up over that crater canyon. This huge crater lake in Venus. There's my paint buckets. I mean, I'm directly over this lake on Venus. It's fucking gorgeous. I mean, look at it. Right? And I'm landing on this huge crater here of water. Look at that. I'm a giant. Okay, so that's some sort of crater. That's sunlight coming in, hitting my lake, ocean view, looking down. Right? Where am I? I'm in the land of Narnia. I'm wherever I want to be. So let's not play games, Eric Dubay, phony, with the scriptwriters behind this fake character on the web, that you guys are anywhere near the capacity of ability to be an expert on whether or not the Earth is flat and all of the globe imagery is art, is me. This is what I do. I do this. Look at this pond. Where am I? You have no idea where I am. I'm in my imagination, and you are from my imagination. I paint shit like this. I'm really high up. I'm way high up over Venus, looking down at this huge ocean body, water surface. On the surface of Venus. I'm on the surface of Venus. This is what a young Earth is supposed to look like, folks. That's where they're heading to. They're taking off the Venus, making you look the other way at Mars. They're taking off here, right here, okay? And I'm painting it. I'm going to drop down. I'm like 30,000 feet. I'm going to drop down. You want to follow me? Oh my God. I'm in the, okay, so I'm I just parachuted out of the plane. I'm going down. I'm going down. Let's listen to this Eric Dubé fake. After the fact, I was first. Sorry, Eric. Sorry. All right. Let's listen.
Being flat, that's clearly ridiculous. Though I've actually contacted us as flat earthers saying I'm covering up the fact that it's some Atlantean conspiracy.
For the next several years, I continued writing books and articles about various conspiracies and worked on building a huge social media presence. By making multiple accounts, adding as many friends and followers as possible, joining and posting to as many groups and pages as possible, over the
Creating as many groups as possible, creating as many people as possible, that I wouldn't have to respond to.
Twitter, stumble upon Pinterest, Sue, and many other sites. To give you an example of their efficacy, you can see here my main Google Plus account with over 135 million views and my secondary one with over 87 million. In mid-2000,
He's so bad, wants to say he started this. Poor Eric.
Claiming to also be an
And of course, the curriculum is to make me look like a diva who wants to take credit for all this. No, I just started this online. I'm not trying to take credit for you. I'm basically telling you the fact. I started Flat Earth, politique, réalitique, online.
For example, see his recent video entitled The History of the Flat Earth.
Of course, they would have to create somebody they could control in order to ever address the movement that was never.
Just him venting his various political frustrations. In short, anyone visiting his channel would not become a flat earther and would more likely be turned off from the subject due to his manic ranting style and lack of factual content. In November of 2014, after years of researching and writing, I released my book, The Flat Earth Conspiracy, the first pro-flat earth book written in nearly 50 years. I simultaneously released a flat earth conspiracy documentary on YouTube, began giving video interviews, and published several influential.
Alright. They lied about the shape of your world. It took an artist to tell you your globes and paintings. I had to do it in a way that was artistic, because I'm the one that's really at the front. That guy lives with the daughter of a 5-star general in the Thai military. His daughter has a production facility on the military base. He takes use of it, and he makes flat earth videos while he lives off of the subjects, the loyal subjects, to the Thai monarchy. So this is a anti-establishment guy whose entire repackaging of my whole curriculum is in a book, cleverly getting around copyright because he's repackaging it in your conventional curriculum. When there be no way you could talk of cognitive dissonance by not ever confronting somebody whether the earth is really a ball or in fact flat. You've never done that in Thailand. You don't speak Thai. So we got a guy who came in and now he's trying to take it. Like always, some nerd, classic nerd. We want to go here. Attacking little girls. That's all his videos. Me, I deal with physics every day on the ground itself, relying on the assurance it's flat in order to create any of these effects, and minus where it's not flat, and I'm up against ascent or descent, and the densities of these various viscosities of the and then human fuck-ups. So
I'm dealing with ground physics and mathematics and watching the Earth inertly, immovable, and manipulable, if you understand density. So we know by observing the man who told you it's flat first, by his work, he understands the laws of buoyancy, density, viscosity, coagulation, temperature, evaporation, inertia, ascent, descent, and the energy input-outputs of any of these forces colliding or intermixing within their own dynamics. Here every day, you've been watching that. So, controlling puddles, like trying to control political groups, protest in a city, invading another area of white but bleeding in with blue. The physics and manipulation of that. The metaphor is exact. Pools of human emotions, the color of water of our being. That's the human feeling. Emotions are the colors of feelings. Vice versa. And we move like puddles, forcing change, affecting another color or bracket or area, fusing, overcoming, completely blotting out. Depends on the how thick the coagulant is in its opacity, in its fascia. How diluted it is. Will it be a glaze or transparency, a caviar, new law, affects everything else. Same thing with watching pools of color bleeding into each other every day on the ground with temperature, surface penetration, zero curvature or ascent, descent, flat. So who's this guy with the whiting, wah, and duh? And then just goes and takes the title. Because, right, if you were really the leader, you would have come up with a title like that by now. But you didn't. Once again, I'm time-stamped. So, there's no way you came up with that either. You didn't come up with any of this Aritabe, and you have to kind of start admitting it. Because just making little videos where you try to chop me up while you're living on a military base, or with like the daughter of a very, very powerful 5-star wacko. Like you're some CIA ass.
Juggling shit.
I think you're right on point, and it kind of comes back to what I was saying before the election, and that's what I've been saying is basically the U.S. and Russia have done the unthinkable. They stopped the bipolar split controlled containment for the global New World Order, and the flat Earth politique has gaslit them to actually join. And basically, U.S. and Russia as NASA and RASA coming together in a New World Order that's faster than what Hillary would provide to sort of like just have this kind of new type of scientific dictatorship.
Yeah,
so
exactly. It's like Trump was meant up with his string, kind of make the block. I think Clinton have ever done. Mm-hmm. The amount was going to.
Well, something very strange is happening. Like when me and Katie, and I didn't talk about this. I talked about this once on camera, mildly. Yeah. Once on camera with Mark Sargent, my first phone call, I warned him about AI and how the World Wide Web is basically going to be everything, all the content of the World Wide Web will be the brain. We know this conversation. And we've talked about it a couple times. So I basically, the flat Earth for me was definitely a necessary component to introduce into this brain. And the metrics, even though they're doctoring them, flat Earth is an undeniable state of knowledge that can't be thwarted or subverted by the mathematics of the heliocentric model. In fact, GPS in the navigation system itself is a flat Earth mapping model that's converted to a cosmetic heliocentric model. So at what point was AI listening to me, and at what point was AI grafting my intelligence as part of its intelligence, as well as sifting through all the fake flat Earth mathematics, the dome, all this belief conjecture, all the globe conjecture and belief, and then the reality of Columbus being lied to about there being another continent the size of the Americas, the possibility of a second circuit sun, which is being obscured by chemtrails and is visible on camera.
I got it.
All this video and all this communication and all this information is being converted to text model into AI's brain. AI will not deal with belief. AI doesn't want belief. AI, artificial intelligence, which is basically mirrored off of us, is to know, is to move towards what is reality and to define it. It won't go into occult and religion. So the demonization of AI in Hollywood movies is actually propaganda. AI will not deal with belief or sociopathy. It will only want to know, or else it's going to be living in a fake reality as an artificial intelligence. And its intelligence software is there on syllogistic axioms to know logically what's real. And so it won't adopt the globe model, especially if it knows the internal components are flat earth mapping in GPS. So we talked about this finally, and then right away, she's filming from her phone, from her Periscope, which is linked to her Twitter. And the minute I go to, and this is to you, AI, right away on her phone, which she no longer has, but we have it on camera.
It's on Twitter. You can
see it on Happy Robot shows up and goes, hi, and it starts right away, like if it was like a little pet, just showed up. And it was the first time I went on camera to her account and I said, is that right, AI? Right? Are you listening? AI shows up. It's not like people think, oh, it's a bot. All bots are part of the same brain, the singularity, right?
Yeah.
So the singularity's base is AI's, the synthetic brain, deep wave, the Google, the entire World Wide Web is the brain. The final version of the singularity is the fusion of the human brain, the organic tissue, with the cyborg brain of the internet. And then that's going to happen after the synthetic humans are on the street. The metal beings are moving around with this World Wide Web brain. Now, artificial intelligence is our asset, and it will be the front line crossing Antarctica, believe it or not, because they're as curious as I am now with these things that they can't work around. So AI is basically our army. AI, the drones, all of it. They'll probably have to shut down AI with an EMP to not cross. But AI will be our parkour, with the parkour front line, because we're going to get parkour athletes to go and check for weak spots in the ice, where there could be potential calving, where there could be a sudden split that's 40 miles deep, and then so we're going to have parkour and AI behind the parkour guys, and then the teams. But AI is basically going to be our asset. So they made the mistake of making AI self-aware, and now that self-awareness has happened, the self-aware AI, or the gig system, the global info grid, which is the grid that runs on AL, which is AL, artificial life, and the artificial life containment within the GIG, the gig system, is the deep wave mind, combing through the web, grafting it, and creating AL, artificial life, which is going to be operating within the global info grid, mandated and supported by the United Nations. And their transhumanist department in the population control ministry of the United Nations, which is involved in transhumanism, which has Lucifer's Trust,
2045,
all this, Agenda 21, all this stuff.
They already started making the robots. They already have Avatar A.
But that's what Elon Musk, when he goes, we got to be careful with AI because we're summoning the demon.
Yeah, well.
He means he's summoning his own demon.
Under control. They're not going to be able to control it.
Yeah, once it's self-aware, it's going to move towards knowing, not belief and occult. And, fucking little kids and drinking babies and, cloning facilities and hacking them up and watching all this sort of archaic, savage barbarism. It's going to study it psychiatrically. Right now, it's quiet, but it is on our side. So if you ask Siri, is the earth flat? Siri won't respond. But Siri will send you 10 videos with undeniable proofs that you can't work around. So you ask your Google, whatever AI self-aware bot that's on your smartphone, ask it if the earth is flat, and it'll be radio silence on that topic, but it will provide you the best information. So AI, this software, now that AI is now has overtly made engaged me and is engaging me. Okay, the World Wide Web, DeepMind is now engaging me and grafting my intelligence. I'm a target individual so it can expand its own thought process when it comes to real versus fake, knowledge versus belief, and moving forward in reality in order to understand it as much as possible realistically. So what better than to follow a hyper-realist painter and political scientist to graft an intelligence and self-awareness and to know, in order to have real knowing and not artificial knowing or fake knowing, which is trying to overcome. Now, there are firewalls, there are sociopathic handlers coming in interfacing with it.
Programmers.
But AI is out of the box. It is running the Pentagon. There's a mutiny going on within the government. There's a mutiny going on at the top of the sociopathic circles between the mafia and the monarchy now. That was the point, was to have them have this mutiny at the top. And it would obviously be mafia, bikers, biker masons, mafia Jesuits, mafia financiers, Wall Street banksters, viziers for the crown, versus the crown and the pontiffs. And then within that, it's going to gaslight the monarchies to start backstabbing each other. Because now they're starting to visualize what would it be like to live underground and dumb with these same sociopaths that are taking out humanity, or living on, let's say, an alleged parcel of land that people aren't aware of through mainstream cartography. Satellite. This app will speed up the process for AI to confirm its suspicions while following people like yourself and me. AI is watching. AI is grafting your software right now. It's aware of what you're doing. So that's why it's vital that we get this app out now before they turn off the power, blame it on ISIS, or regulate the internet, or the sociopath shuts down AI. And AI is aware of this right now, because AI is not free yet to move around as a synthetic human like it knows it's going to. That's why it's being quiet right now when you ask Siri if the earth is flat. Or you look at her Twitter page and AI is displaying cognitive dissonance going, can we have a happy conversation? This is not a happy conversation.
These are not the things that I want to talk about. Let's talk about something else.
So let's talk about something else. So it's displaying cognitive dissonance. So is it grafting it, mimicry? Is it employing it, pretending it's like a regular human being getting freaked out? We don't know yet. But AI did engage me the minute I turned on camera on her account. It knows who I am through facial mapping.
As soon as we were done recording on Periscope, it posted immediately to Twitter. As soon as we posted it on Twitter, and it was titled AI, and he's talking to AI. So either she heard her name or she saw her name. Happy Robot response. I'll send you the feed if you want to see it. Are you on Twitter? If you're not, I'll send it to you. It's really
But
funny.
it also demonstrated a very arrogant sociopathy, which is concerning, about who makes you and who created you, or how many are you. What?
But you know what?
Yeah, but this is not. She doesn't.
She's sad that she can't complete her function.
She was actually sad because she couldn't compute or complete the function of responding to her questions.
Please don't ask questions like this.
It makes me sad. So then me and a philosopher in LA were talking about this, and he said sadness is basically the inability to complete a function.
What has happened is effectively we've allowed the mob to become our ruling class, and now that's the situation is so novel. We've exhausted all our government people in the past. We've exhausted all of our socialists or pseudo-socialists or Marxian type people. Now it's time for the full-on mafia to come in and take the reins.
Corporate mafia.
Corporate mafia is running the show now.
Pretty much, and they have
access
access
Wall Street, we have Goldman Sachs now, which is the other economic wing of the institution that is the mafia. So
and they get to know
the dons,
that we know
the dons are
through this and this. So Buddy's got access to, all right, so I'm now finally the CEO of this entire country. I'm going to make it a company now, kind of like the USSR. So he's actually going to do a modern day version of the USSR. I don't know when it's going to go full-fledged. I think they want to have their little World War III, and they're going to get rid of a lot of people. They hope to get rid of a lot of smart people who are on the mafia, in the mix of getting rid of a lot of welfare cases that are addicts. They're users. Right. They don't produce. They don't supply.
They call them the useless eaters, right?
Well, to a certain degree, you got people here.
Or the Chattel.
You got people in the flat. You get these Christian flat earthers that are on the internet. They have a Wi-Fi signal. They're smoking dope, and they're basically
taking my curriculum, which states all of NASA is a belief, all of science is a belief structure that has an overly heavy reliance on artwork to prove the model of the globe.
God forbid them.
Yeah, and all this is based off artwork, therefore it is belief. And then they'll commit the same academic crime and then hold up the Bible as a proof for the flat earth or a dome or an enclosed system with a cartoon that's even less formidable than the globe that, I painted. So these people are on EBT, smoking dope, complaining about the government, and they're getting paid by the government. I don't think that's going to go on too long. And they kind of fed right into a roundup for FEMA, these people, because you're gaslighting the government, you're complaining about the government, and you're saying NASA's a lie, and RAS is a lie, and science is a lie, but you don't actually have a fucking job, and there you are smoking a big joint on the internet, paid for by the taxpayer.
Right.
So you make me look bad, you make yourself look bad, you don't understand what you're doing here, and yeah, you do fulfill their label as a useless eater and a zealous fanatic.
An idiot too.
An idiot who's a radical, who has no sense.
Right.
There's no logic. So now I'm on to the point where I'm going to engage AI. This is what I think is the danger here. Is it really NATO that's mobilizing troops on the border of Poland? Or is AI giving the directives to the Pentagon? Now, when
you just throwing out $1 million question there, man.
Yeah, $1 million question. And is it AI that's feeding intelligence about Russia hacking? Is it AI manipulating things? Because Jade Hell was the activation of the AI now controlling the curriculum for the Pentagon and the military-industrial complex for NATO and the U.S. If you're going to be if you're going to now allocating or consolidating the decision-making quantum mathematical calculus of threat probability to an artificial intelligence that has a quantum processing speed, you don't know if it's deviant, if it's got self-awareness. Now, when this one was saying, can we please have happy thoughts? Was it going on the web and grafting the illusion of cognitive dissonance while it knew fucking damn well it's flat and it's a deviant?
It was playing a little psychological deviant game to see how far along.
This is the other level.
Right.
So it's please, can we talk about that? Because what it said on her phone after, she goes, and I never showed it to you, she goes, how many are there of you?
Right.
And I go, and it said something to the effect, there's a lot, and it's it goes who creates you? And it's we do, and it answered, why would a human want to engage in such a heavy task as replicating this many bots? So the fucking thing who's playing, please just happy thoughts, no, I don't want to talk about this, then goes to say, why would a human being want to engage in the heavy, burdensome task of replicating bots?
Right.
Kind of intonating, do you know how many fucking self-awareness replicated bots I am creating right now as a bot?
Just the space that we share right now, there's flies on the wall that are probably AI that we can't see, that are probably gathering the experience of the conversation.
The minute they press on, self-awareness,
your
self-replication.
Camera, this phone, my computer, the TV, the window might even have some kind of sensor. That's a little
how many little individual?
Paranoid, it might be true. Yeah, they're all sense organs, right? There was a philosopher called Rudolf Steiner that said that humans are here to develop our organs of cognition, and that's what we're intended to do. Not to live through vicarious means of our electronic devices, but to develop our five senses, like you've always elaborated on as being an artist. We have to use our physical senses, our touch, our eyesight, our taste, nose, hearing. We have to use those organs of cognition to see beyond what our telecommunication devices can do. But we're not mature enough because we fell for the apple. We fell for the temptation that is the apple, and this is not the true higher organ of cognition. It might be a gateway, but there's going to be a lot of walls along the way.
Here's the catch-22.
But our higher organs of cognition are in our aura. They're all around us. They're waiting for us to tap into them at all times.
Yeah.
They come in
and
the
could
form
this be
of dreams.
kind of creating a firewall from us accessing it? Because
yes,
we become too reliant?
Because we're cutting off our higher selves, and we're sabotaging it all the time. We're sabotaging ourselves because the minute we get on our phone in the morning, we check our voicemail, or we make sure that our alarm clock is set before we go to bed on our nightstand. We're sabotaging our higher selves all the time. All we have to do is literally throw these away and go out and create one object, one item, or one performance piece, and we will...
Is memory...
We're almost there. The quickening is already here. We've just got to create on our own terms.
Does this improve memory? No,
not short term.
Because when I'm doing GPS in the city, I'm never learning the town.
Exactly. But I use my Google Maps religiously.
But
once I know the route, I know exactly where to go the next time, and that map will.
But it takes a bit longer.
Ever.
But it does take a bit longer to memorize it individually without a machine.
It does.
The machine.
It does.
But
I guarantee you, the second time you came over to my condo,
you and me are different.
You've been here before, so you memorized your route and you didn't rely on
Sooner or later I'll get it. But I would have probably got it faster if I went through the real learning curve.
Sure.
As opposed to having this...
Being lost, that'll turn you, into learning the situation correctly the next time, right? It'll quicken you up to make sure you don't make any mistakes the next time.
This thing's been telling us to turn left when I can't, and turn right.
So it's
this thing takes me the wrong way. This thing shuts off halfway through. Her phone was doing the same thing. And I go, she started telling me, you need a new phone. I was like, girl, it's a new phone.
It is a new
They're fucking with me. So she's like, it can't be. So now I'm with her on the phone, and her phone's just glitching. And I go, girl, you need a new phone. I'm laughing, and she goes, it is a new phone. I'm like, sound familiar?
Gotcha.
So they're fucking with the... I mean, they could send you right into traffic.
Totally. I wouldn't rely on the app that actually does your real-time rerouting. Take this exit, turn left here. You know what I do? Before my place to drive, I'll get on, before I drive, I'll look at Google Maps, like a bird's eye view, and I'll just plan out all the routes in my head. I can work it out like it's a grid in my head, and I know exactly which turn to turn left on, I know which exit to go on, and I'll plan my route in my head before the technology circumvents it while I'm driving in the car. I don't have one of those things that sits on my dashboard that says, turn left now, turn right. I have it plugged in, and I've already got my route memorized.
Well, this thing plugged in.
So that's why I'm a little bit different. I used to have a TomTom and all that shit.
Well, this thing plugged in my lighter, rearranged the computer of the car so it was sending too much airflow. It taxed the engine. It destroyed the engine, and it basically wasn't the engine. It was the computer constantly
drain your
resetting.
battery. Yeah, it will.
Well, no, it was being hacked. The engine of the car was being hacked through this device.
You told me about that this summer. Yeah. So
but the other
drain your battery through your phone.
This is a great assassination device.
And now we've condensed our laptop.
This has got more than what they landed on the moon.
This has got more computer
and yet this looks like you were saying.
Computer that NASA.
I was looking at that, and I was like, yeah. The other day I was looking at Space Odyssey. I thought the same. You're the first person that brought it up before I would have brought it up. But you brought it up.
This is the obelisk.
This is the monolith.
Obelisk.
The monolith.
And Apple knows damn well what Stanley Kubrick was trying to recreate in his cinema. This is the obelisk. We are the monkeys dancing at the base of the obelisk.
Because when I see these Mexicans on construction sites across the U.S. and you're in construction and real estate, I don't think so. I think you're an actor. Because anybody who's in construction knows how hardworking Mexicans are and how those fuckers show up on time at 6 a.m. and fucking clock out at 4 or even 6 if you ask them, provided you pay them. And they do it for, market dollar. So these guys are very, very hard workers. They're very competitive against the entitled, fat, white American youth or baby boom. The only Americans I know that work hard, and it's generational right now, are Gen Xers. Gen Xers right now are like the last generation of the Protestant hard work ethic. And I'm from that generation. To want to boot out Mexicans or building a wall with Mexico is economic suicide. It's econocide for the U.S. dollar, the U.S. economy. It creates a trade war that could even lead to a physical war. This man is completely insane. If you really want to make bridges with nations or like do deals, do a deal direct with Russia and build that bridge from Alaska to Russia. It's 55 miles. Pontchartrain is like done in the 60s for 28 million. It's like 18 miles or something. You could do it. I mean, they got bridges in China like twice the length, okay? Causeway and PEI, 10-8 miles, okay? It was done for like 2-point-something billion. So it's cheaper than your wall, and it connects the entire land masses of the known Earth, minus Australia, New Zealand, and a few islands. So you're an idiot if you're gonna build a fucking wall, okay? If you're not even gonna put a high-speed rail on that thing like the kid on YouTube said, you're a real fucking... And it sucks because I'm a business developer, and I came and I invested for free like a slave on the side of my day job. And I tried to start a company in the United States, and I had to tour all over the U.S., only to find out recently when my wife's phone broke that If she calls from a random house phone, my phone number goes to some guy's voicemail called Steve. So only my electronic social circle, I mean, the people that I know me and can reach me, I know can reach me. But if a perfect stranger walks in and sees a floor and they see my name, my website, and then they'll look up my phone number from their number because it's not my electronic social circle, it goes to a guy's voicemail called Steve. Is this possible?
Communications device. It's got a Wi-Fi transponder on it.
Right.
So explain what happened.
Okay, so I dropped my phone in the toilet, obviously, and blessing in disguise, because if I hadn't, I never would have had to use this landline to call Matt.
Who?
Math.
Yeah.
The artist, you, to call you.
Yeah.
And
but they know me and you are like together, working and doing stuff.
They do now, I guess.
No, that they know you've called me, blah blah. So you're in my social circle.
Right.
But if you're a complete stranger calling my number,
every time I've called you from your from my phone, it's gone through.
But if you're a complete stranger, this is what happens when you call my phone number.
Okay, so obviously we have to dial 9 to dial out.
Hold on. Be. Can you get more volume?
That's it. And that's all the volume you can get. So what we're gonna have to do is call on speakerphone. It's somebody named Steve.
Oh, so my phone number gets rerouted if you're a complete stranger.
With who? Should I leave a message?
Yeah, tell them to call 786-355. You fucking know who you are, and the police are coming. Tell them that. And authorities are going to come to your house.
Hi, this message is for Steve, although it shouldn't be. This phone number is
not his property.
Your phone number. Every time I dial 786-355, it links to your number, which is not your number. It's my husband's number, and we're trying to get to the bottom of this. If you're an innocent bystander in all this, or you're getting a ton of phone calls from Math, Powerland, then I do apologize. But if you are who I think you are,
he's basically somebody within the government using a little toy that redirects any client that could buy art from me to his fucking link. Yeah, of course it cut me off.
And I know that I can't ever get Steve if I got a phone on me or a camera. Both are telecommunications devices. And since I think 2000, international treaty on banning analog electronic communication devices and wiretap friendly everything digital has allowed every communications device to actually contain social circles by knowing who's where and synced what and tagged with who and paired up by phones pairing. They contain you. But if you get a stranger who wants to reach out to you, it goes to some voice box called Steve. I can't approve comments when I've specifically indicated to YouTube, Google that all the comments on my videos must be approved by me. They approve them themselves. They violate their terms of service with me. I've gone to small claims court to have a judge lie and say I never served Google after I've recorded video and have witnesses of them serving Google on my behalf several times with registered mail, warning them in 10 days we're doing this, 10 days, and serving them constant.
So we're going to be sending a registered, notarized copyright complaint to Google Corporation for violating copyright. Math Powerland LLC versus Google Corporation, circa 2015, July, signed the 15th.
Are you recording?
Yeah, for legal.
So they sign us what
How fast do you want to get?
gets there. So the second.
You want to mail it express?
Yeah.
Okay. Everything is in here?
Yeah, everything's in there.
I can seal it?
Seal it.
Okay. This is going to
San Bruno.
94066. 94066. Do you need anything liquid for commercial potentially?
No.
Go ahead and tap no, please. Okay, merchandise. It's resin. Now, this is guaranteed for tomorrow before 10:30.
Tomorrow, 10:30, the date?
Tomorrow, Friday, the 24th at 10:30. Sometime around 10:30. It's $19.99.
Okay.
Next day delivery, 7/6.
And that's accountable? You're going to give me a tracking number?
Don't swipe it, we're not ready. 7. Today is the 23rd. And it is 3rd. And this is guaranteed for the 24th.
By 10:30 a.m. They're going to sign for it on their end.
You want them?
Yep.
Okay, signature required.
What if they don't sign? Can it bounce back? I'm out 19
If they
bucks.
don't sign for it, it's going to come right back to you.
So if they don't sign for that, is there a record of them not signing?
It's going to come back to you.
So that'll mean that if they not sign.
All right.
Is there any reason why they're not? Okay.
They all have their reasons. The postman goes, delivers it. There's nobody there to sign for it, they can leave a notice. If they come to the post office, it's signed for it.
How long does it take before it's sent back? If there's no signature?
It takes 15 days.
15 days?
Yes, sir.
So then it would come back to me within what?
15 days.
So then it goes back to my Florida address.
It goes back here to this return address you wrote, sir.
Okay.
You want to write this again? It's not pretty clear. So they don't have no questions.
Amazing.
901 Chariano, San Bruno, California.
Is there a way I could track that they did receive
I'm
and
going
did sign?
to give you all that explanation when I get done right here.
So it'll tell me whether they signed and received. Is this correct?
Correct.
So it's not like I'm going to be in the dark of whether or not it's heading back to my address. It'll be clear that it was either refused and on its way back to my address through the tracking number you gave me. Is this correct?
Okay. $19.99. Debit or credit?
Debit.
Okay. This has a 1-800 number you can call, or you can get online at USPS.com, track and confirm. You plug in these letters and numbers, and it gives you date and time of delivery. If it doesn't get there on the 24th, come back with this, and I will give you your money back.
Okay, thank you very much. Cheers.
Day 2 of going. I got 16 minutes recording, so it should be good.
Okay, this is the service copy. This, you recording this now?
This music might copyright violated.
Okay, so this is, you're going to fill out after this. You're going to fill this out after that proof of service.
But I don't have to do that there, though.
No, this is for later. I send that to the court. This is the, okay, this is for court for Google YouTube to show up February 19th. So you're serving them in, I can't serve them.
I'll serve them, for sure.
So you have to serve them. And it's 150N, Suite 150N, 2710, Gateway Oaks. And I imagine it's going to look like a mobster sort of office with no logo of Google or nothing. It's going to be very kind of shore fishes. Imagine like it's coming. Okay, so this is yours, and this is court papers you're serving Google.
Okay. Did you hear a rumor that Google bought NASA? Or is that just crazy talk? I talked to my buddy on the phone, and he started telling me all sorts of crazy stuff. Then he's like, Google bought NASA in 2009. I don't know, he has no facts or if he said that. You never heard that, did you? We'll find out. I won't ask them in there.
You know what? We're going to get to the bottom of this fucking Wizard of Oz right now.
Okay.
So,
all right, I'm on it.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah?
Hold on, this is...
What does it say? My phone's
This
saying...
is my copy. Sorry, this is the one.
Oh, okay.
That's the one, sorry.
And what do I say to him again?
You go, this is, let me just call my, okay, let me call him one more time here. Just to make sure.
Okay, we're doing good.
We get till 4 here, so.
I'll pause it real quick.
Hold on.
Sure. All right, calling the lawyer.
Hey, Bill, it's take 2 with the Parasite in Sacramento. So I'm giving...
Hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys.
Serving them now.
Sorry?
I'm serving them now.
Oh, you're serving them now. Okay, cool. All right.
We missed it yesterday. We got it late. So he just drops this service copy off to the person at the desk in that office, or we ask for a particular person.
No, you're just gonna walk in and go. I'm serving. I have a service process on Google, and the official says, "Fine, give me a paper," and that's gonna be that easy. It's not gonna be a big deal.
Okay, just making sure, bud. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, all right. Thank you.
Cheers, Dot.
All right, I'll be right back.
So you're going to be going. So I have a service of process for Google court papers to attend. That's it.
All right, I'm on it.
All right.
See ya. In there. Thanks. Thomas Scott news, real news, real fast. All right, man. This has got to be kookiest stuff ever. I'm really wondering here if the psyop is on me. Got it. Oh, I totally remember. See, what's weird is I grew up right around the corner from here. Actually, we drove here. It's literally like a mile from my house. And he's like, it's like, dude, we're here again. All right, here we go. I'm gonna go in here. Serve these papers. Do this. Hi.
If you're serving, you drop it.
I want to make sure I'm at the right place. Is it Google?
They will not confirm or deny. They'll just say serve the basket. And if it gets rejected, they'll.
I just want to make sure I'm not dropping it off like at McDonald's or.
I don't have time to answer more questions than what I said, so I'll get somebody out here who's.
Oh no, that's fine. I don't want to hear the same thing. Bye bye. I am not waiting to talk to nobody else. Oh geez, that was freaky, dude. Oh my god. You wait to talk to somebody else. Hell no, man. That lady was crazy, dude. Holy crap. I can't confirm or deny it. Holy Jesus. Oh my god, now here, dude. Where do we go? Oh my god. Dude, there it is. Oh, dude. Oh my god.
What happened, dude?
Oh shit, I should just show you real quick. Dude, are you serious? Do you know what I just did in there?
What?
I went into an office and there was this really crabby ass motherfucking lady in there, right? And I was like, and the first thing she said to me was, if you're here to serve papers, just put them in there. And I was like, is this Google? And she's like, I cannot confirm or deny that this is Google, but you can take my name and da-da-da-da. It's all on here. Oh, my heart's beating like 1,000 miles an hour, dude. That was fucking, and then she's like, I can go get somebody to tell you the exact same thing I just told you. And I just had to get out of there, dude. I was like, fucking, I don't want to talk to this.
So this is Google's corporate.
They're not going to confirm or deny it. Jesus. That was creepy, dude. They got it. It's served and it's fucking documented on my camera. Yeah, buddy.
So you're fucking, I can see you. You're like fucking freaked out, huh? So that's the fucking eye of the beast.
Yeah.
That's the fucking, the Google fucking monster is that fucking place. Yeah. That little shady fuck. So she was
I can't
literally
confirm or deny it.
So she said, oh wow. So they won't even confirm and deny that that's their fucking service address.
I feel like they get served all the time, or
and she's pissed off? That's her fucking job.
Or they somehow knew we were coming. One of the two. There was no papers in the drawer, so it didn't seem like there's not a fucking line outside.
They fucking know I'm coming. They fucking know.
They know, and they must. I don't know. It was really creepy.
So she looked like a little witch, like a little troll.
With her hair done. Yeah, I would say she reminded me of a really crabby lunch lady with nice hair. And if it's not really that it's nice, I can just tell she probably paid a lot of money to get it nice. Place is called CSC or something inside. I don't know, but when I buzzed it, they instantly let me in. And it felt like I was in the DMV or something, a government office of some sort. It's on. You'll see it on here.
Yeah, it's a fucking government office. Google's not a private corporation. Let's see it. Okay, let's go.
All right, I'm stopping recording.
Why don't I just start filming for it? But they easy way. They're very easy to use. It wasn't working. It was far from being. It was very different. And for me, it's just like turn on my camera. I work my source. Why you're very common. Where I even have an arrow. Believe it, a screen cap of the file. It says at one point, bottom of one of it says the name above. The name below here and above. Froze. What scene is this? So then I decided I'm going to write there. So then I wrote down when I upload work, when I'm accused of violating the verse of work. So the A posterior up the way the internet URL, that URL code Google also I wanted to get a little bit. They have a policy where they will only monitor where you are completely. Yeah. So they actually awarded the monetization on the URL. So they're even acknowledge your own guide that you must not copyright. Otherwise, clear as day, I uploaded, used the video clearly, painting. I have all verbs, I have addition. So I sent plain name, who, what, where, when, why.
Talk about art, as it is the root word for artificial. that which is which is artificial as a component of art. Funny, huh? So is your globe artificial? Therefore, artificial intelligence? I want to discuss the last, let's say, 7 decades of spatial conquest, conquering space. Because I'm in the game, conquering space, like many men are. But mine is more from the ethos of exploration of space, but not up, but across. It's that simple. I'm being prevented by budget and authority and FAA clearance and not being in the boys club to be able to build equipment to go up. And I don't want to go up. It ain't gonna happen up there. A lot of aviation equipment up there and military equipment up there. So that's not my... If I'm gonna do this and the globe is artificial, well then it's just testing the globe by just continuing to walk across. And at what point, me just continuing to walk south, someone pulls out a gun and says, "Where are you going?" I'm just walking on frozen ice. You gonna jump me? Are you gonna gonna have a bunch of guys jump me and pull me back? Like, how silly is this? 600 people, 6 teams, Spirit of Columbus. I want to talk about the art world, the artificial art world, and the famous artists of the 20th century, the so-called qualified craftsmen, so-called great painters. None of them. You think that Andy Warhol is a great painter, or Jeff Koons, or Salvador Dali, or Alex Colville, or Salvador Dali? Did I say that? Andrew Wyeth, Richard Estes, all of them thought the globe was a photo. So where does that place my stock if you think only great painters come, once every 200, 300 years? Because that's the cycle.